Number one, welcome very much to this 5th Entrepreneur Kickoff here in Minnesota. This is a special event because it is hosted by 22 organizations who care about your success.
In Minnesota, the answer is a good neighbor. Up here in the Midwest, Minnesota Deed and all of the other hosts have worked very hard to pull a lot of resources together, and I hope that you get a lot out of it. 1 week of clarity, and I came up with the opportunity filter, an assessment tool to practice the skill of scoring opportunities. Many entrepreneurs, how to score an opportunity potential.
My name is Gertrude Matemba Mutasa. I'm the Women's Business Center Director at Women Venture. Help women create profitable and sustainable businesses.
My name is Wendy Weiner, challenging lifestyle of an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, in your hands, and you've got to stop it, tweak it, turn it around, change the marketing, go a different direction. You've got to do all kinds of things. You've got to pivot, and that's what an entrepreneur does. But how do you get a mentor? How do you get someone who's going to help you? So here's the answer to that. I own a company called Genuine Hero.
My name is Paul Koenig, and I was a semifinalist in the Minnesota Cup and the Clean Tech Open. Now, these mentors got involved with me. Clean Tech Open graduate now, I can go toe-to-toe answering any question from any angle of my business and do it with confidence because I'm prepared.
I'm Zach Mangle. I'm here tonight representing the Inventors Network of Minnesota.
I am Travis Eddy, and next to me is James Wilson. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 16 years old. I met a lot of the right people and hopefully made the right decisions to take our project to the next step.
I'm Greg Rapoli with Life Science Alley, Minnesota's state-based trade association for the health technology community in Minnesota.
Yeah, so my name's Mohammed. I've actually done about 4 ventures over the past 4 or 5 years. Some of them did pretty well. Platabase, the Internet of Things. The REMO, that's the name of our gesture control technology, figure out where their market fit is and just go after it.
My name is Lee George, and I am the Director of Marketing for the James J. Hill Center in downtown St. Paul. How many of you have been to the James J. Hill Center? Also known as the Reference Library. We've been around for almost 100 years, and we have weekly programs for startups and ongoing education for entrepreneurs, plus a massive amount of databases you can come and use for research. I'd love to see you all down there. And it's my pleasure to introduce the first place winner of the Minnesota Cup High Tech Division, Joe Stanton.
Joe, I am the co-founder and CEO of Elevate. We're the world's best customer feedback platform for restaurants, retailers, and hotels. What they care about is they want to make the right choice the first time. And it doesn't matter if you have 1 restaurant or you have 20 restaurants or you have 1,000 restaurants. You want to make the right choice the first time. And so we had to really change all our marketing. We had to change the way we had conversations with people and really focus on testimonials, case studies, profiles. If you read our blog, we have a new profile like every 2 weeks of one of our customers. So we got really honed in on that.
I'm Ernest Grumbles, local startup lawyer, community activist for startups through Mojo, Minnesota, which is a cooperative that works for macro level collaborations to improve the overall startup economy here. Angel investor tax credit improvements, R&D, and crowdfunding.
My name is Jan Jordet, and I'm the Senior Director of Consulting and Financing Services at MEDA. Vie for these competitions. Even when you come in second, you get so much exposure and so much resource and so much training that it's so, so valuable.
Pat Dillon is the director of the Minnesota SBIR program, a service of MEDA, the Metropolitan Economic Development Association. This program aims to foster a more innovative Minnesota economy focused on turning new ideas and inventions into products and technologies that spur job growth and competitiveness while promoting economic development. In this position, Ms. Dillon is responsible for the strategic direction and leadership of the Minnesota SBIR program and its services to small businesses and startups in Minnesota.
I love the SBIR program because it supports the American dream. I believe in my heart and soul that there's got to be at least one person, one company in each county in Minnesota that ought to be looking at SBIR as a way to fund whatever they're working on. Now, I will tell you, it is a very complex, complicated, and competitive program. There are lots of small businesses all around the country that are competing for these dollars. Thousands of proposals go in every year for that part of that $2.6 billion that's set aside for the SBIR program and the Small Business Technology Transfer Program. Those two programs make up $2.6 billion. Now you might think, well, that's a lot of money. It is. But when you think about the U.S. and what we contribute or dedicate or invest to R&D, we put in about $140 billion. That gets spread across the universities, federal labs, large companies, nonprofit research organizations, and then small businesses, startups. Your job is to just get a little piece of that to support what you want to do, and then to profit from the commercialization of that technology.
My name is Kevin Spanbauer. I'm with the Minnesota Emerging Software Advisory, or MESA. We are a mentoring organization focused strictly on the software product industry. We've been around about 5.5 years now. And typically our program lasts 18 to 24 months on average for a software entrepreneur who's trying to build a software company. We have a team of about 15 mentors currently working with folks to help them launch their companies. Barb's been a part of that. Come on down, Barb. She came back to Minnesota, so she's done a great job and really integrated in and bringing some of that Silicon Valley here to Minnesota. So with that, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. What I'd like to do is just spend the next 15 minutes with you and just share a little bit about, Lois had asked me to just talk about the differences that we're seeing between Silicon Valley and the Twin Cities. I know probably half of the audience, but a lot of you may not know each other, so I just want to take a minute. For those of you that are entrepreneurs and have your companies here and presenting, would you mind just standing up? And we would like to kind of look, the ones that are not servicing, but the ones that actually are the companies, the owners, the founders. That's like amazing. That's over half the audience. That's awesome. Okay, thank you. And for those of you, I know there's a different mix, but for those of you that are here that are mentors, providers, supporters of the community, for the entrepreneurs, can you stand up to have the entrepreneurs see? Very good. Awesome. Thank you for your service. And then last, for those that are investors that actually are here in support of in some way through the angels or the VCs, private equities. Can we see the show of those? The heads of the funds. Terrific. Thank you. The reason why I asked that and what we're going to just talk about a little bit here, and investing in the 10,000 lakes, I think what's really interesting in being a Minnesotan, so I grew up here and I cheated. I went to Wisconsin. I'm a Badger. Been here in the Twin Cities for a couple of years afterwards. I have a computer science background. I got hired by Hewlett-Packard as a field engineer and kind of grew my career up through the ranks of HP and then worked for Oracle, Sybase, Cisco, kind of the big corporate technology firms, and that pulled me out to Silicon Valley. And after doing very large global functional roles for a period of time, and doing merger and acquisitions for those companies, I started to meet a lot of the entrepreneurs in the Valley. And because we were actually looking to buy those companies and bring them into the HPs and the Ciscos. And what was really interesting to me was the passion of the founders and the executives who are running these small companies, how long they'd go without getting funds, how long they go without getting paid, but yet the dedication, and all of a sudden you'd see one pop. You know, I remember talking to the guys at Hadoop when Hadoop was just like a couple of people. I remember talking to the idea of Uber, and before it even became a product in the Uber company it is now. And it was very exciting and working in that environment, and I wanted to get closer to that, so I actually started running the CEO Council of Silicon Valley, which is really an entrepreneurial group, like we have several here. And we would come in, and the big corporations, executives that were doing merger and acquisition would start to interact with the entrepreneurs. And we started seeing the seed funding. This is probably 10 to 12 years ago, where it really started to pick up and people are engaging with the entrepreneurial community. And it wasn't there. I mean, 20 years ago, that wasn't there. So, you know, there's always this image that there is a tremendous amount of, you know, activity going on there. It's just been in the last 10 to 12 years where they really started engaging very tightly in the entrepreneurial community outside of the universities. There's a tremendous amount of money and activity in the Valley. We both have very strong IP on both sides, We both have funding at different levels, but the volume and commitment of people that are here in this entrepreneurial community, for people that have been entrepreneurs and had exits, or people that are giving their time pro bono for mentoring, people helping make the connections for funding, is very, very strong. And it's hard to get that in a larger community like the Valley.
I'd like to introduce David Russick from Go for Angels, Patrick Meenan from Arthur Ventures, Joseph Berazanzi from Community Leader, Hassan Sayed from Ideagist.com, Daniel Hobbs from Divi, and Rod Larkin from the Agricultural Utilization Resources Institute. Thank you, all of the panelists, for joining us tonight, and we look forward to an engaging discussion that goes with the panelists and the audience, too.
I'm Patrick Meenan. I'm a partner with Arthur Ventures. We're a venture capital firm that funds software companies anywhere outside of Silicon Valley.
I'm Dan Hobbs. I started a company in college, sold that, started another company 2 years later, sold that, and now I'm on my third venture. From experience, I see that, you know, it's an international world now. There's telephones, there's Skype. These folks, you know, are okay with you not being there. They can still talk to you. One of the things I appreciate about Minnesota is that you can operate in a space of low noise and you can talk to people at the top and they will listen to you.
My name is Hassan Sayed. I run a technology incubator here. 2 years ago I started by the name Bir Ventures, and we are here as one of the hosts for a site called Ideagist.com.
Hi, my name's Rod Larkins. I'm the Science and Technology Director for AURI. I worked for 3M for 40 plus years in research and technology and business building, and then I worked for the University of Minnesota for 4 years as part of IRE, the Initiative for Renewable Energy and the Environment. So I got the opportunity to begin working for AURI. What AURI does is we don't provide money to anybody. We provide technology services. If you think about the kind of capabilities that are available to large companies, like a 3M, for example, the research, the analytical, the engineering and scale-up support, none of those are available to the entrepreneurs. They basically are on their own. What they can't do themselves, they have to scratch money to find to provide that. And AURI provides that type of capabilities to the ag entrepreneurs in the state.
My name's Joseph Berazanzi. I run a software and service company called Community Leader, and we provide the infrastructure for online platforms that are doing the solicitation, sale, and support of private securities.
I'm going to start this. I think one of the things I want to take a look at that Barb touched on is what the current climate is here in Minnesota. I've seen things. I've been at this only for about 3 years. So the learning curve for me has been pretty big on the investor side. But I've seen a lot of change from 3 years ago to today, particularly in the last, say, year and a half. Patrick, you're involved heavily in Minnesota, but I know you mentioned to me recently that you travel a lot. So you're seeing a lot happening around, is it primarily the Midwest? Maybe you can describe that.
Yeah, sure. So to David's point, yeah, I mean, like I said, we fund companies anywhere outside of Silicon Valley. So we travel anywhere from, Seattle, Phoenix, New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Madison, and Minneapolis. And I think that a lot of the challenges are probably similar. I don't think I've actually been to a city outside of San Francisco or Boston where people are, bragging about how much venture capital they have. Right, and they're saying we have all these resources, we don't know what to do with it. So I think the challenges are actually fairly similar. I would say that Minneapolis probably has a little bit more specialty on the medical device side, which I don't spend time in, but I actually believe what Barb had said, which was there are a lot of people who really scout out here for medical device. But outside of that, I think that a lot of the challenges that we deal with or some of the things that are unique about us in a good way are probably very similar across most cities in the Midwest.
I'm betting on you to be a success so we can make money on that. And importantly, on the broader scheme, we can make money on that, get our money back, and then reinvest in the next entrepreneur. If there's no exit and there's no successful exit, there's no money to reinvest in the next startup.